boxer promoter who was ringside. Ben Shalom has been kind enough to join us now. Ben, really appreciate you coming on. I've seen your words. You said you're not just embarrassed, you're really, really angry. What are you going to do about it, Ben? What can be done so this doesn't happen again?
Honestly, I don't know. I've watched these decisions happen as a fan, and to be part of it is sickening. It was an amazing night. I can't tell you, in the Hydro tonight, the fans were unbelievable. It was another special atmosphere. But what we saw tonight was historic from Jack Catterall. He came, a man from Chorley, 28-year-old. He waited 2 years for this to happen. He planned every day. I spoke to Jamie Moore all week. They had the perfect game plan. They've come and put on a masterclass against one of the pound-for-pound kings, and they've been robbed of all 4 belts.
Look, here's the thing, Ben, right? Howard Foster, 113 to Catterall, I think it was. I've got 114 here, but I think 112, 113. Ian John Lewis, I'll save that one. Victor Laughlin, 113, 112 for Taylor. Ian John Lewis, 114, 111 for Taylor, with 1 point deducted and 1 knockdown against him. Surely, you're a promoter, we're in the media, it's time to speak to the Boxing Board of Control and say, we cannot accept judges that do not know how to score a fight properly.
Do not know, or is it so far out that there's something going wrong?
Are you trying to suggest that there's bent at the top level then?
I don't know. I genuinely don't know. But how can someone legitimately watch that fight and score a 114, 111 in Josh Taylor's favour? That is, I've seen it, but that's a disgrace.
He's right.
I'm new to this. I'm new to this sport, so I don't know what's right and what's wrong to say, but I'm a fan, and that is a disgrace.
And I'm happy you say that, Ben. Sorry to cut across you, Gav. He's right. This is not incompetence. And look, I don't want to jump to conclusions here. It's not incompetence. This is Ian John Lewis, who's been in the sport since I was a kid watching him ref. He's a former fighter, Ian John Lewis. He knows how to score a fight. 114, 111, as you said, with a point deducted and a knockdown. And most people at best giving Josh 4 to 5 rounds. Something else going on there. It's a disgrace, that is. It's a disgrace.
We've seen it in Las Vegas before. We've seen it with Canelo fights. We've seen it with champions getting favoured as the house fighter. But there needs to be deeper investigations into why this keeps happening in boxing. For me, the majority of the time it's incompetence. But in this case, it cannot be incompetence. We're watching the monitor during our live show here in the studio, and it was patently obvious who was winning the fight.
Mm.
No, the fans even in the Hydro tonight, as much as they're Josh Taylor fans, they've gone home shocked as well. And I think that says it all. But anyway, I've said what I've said. I can't really say anymore. I'm gonna have to go. But,
Ben, one quick one, Ben, just before you go. And look, we really appreciate you coming on. For Jack Catterall, and look, all commiserations to Jack here, because this would have changed his life. What next for Jack? Have you had a word of him? He's going to want a rematch. I know Josh said he's going up to 147, but surely there can be a push for that.
I think there has to be, but at the same time, he won tonight, Adi. He won tonight. This guy is waiting. Why is there even the rematch? This was a mandatory challenger. Obviously, no rematch clause. Of course, he'll get another shot at a world title, but whether it's Josh, I don't know. Josh looked uncomfortable at the weigh-in. I don't know if it's time for him to now move up to 147. So it's difficult to know, but he's just taken home 4 belts. In my opinion, he's taken them home tonight, and in reality, he sat there with nothing. So I don't know. Rematch or no rematch. I think first off, we have to deal with what's happened tonight.
Ben, really appreciate you coming on. Thank you very much. You know what, right, Gav? At the top of the show, I don't know why I said it. Maybe I was just wishing it. I said this will be a pay-per-view type show. I did say it, didn't I? And it really is, for all the wrong reasons. But look, we're here. This is talkSPORT. We're here for all the best breaking news, and this is why we are the #1 national radio station in the world. Because just like that, we got Ben Shalom on, and he said it, didn't he? It's not incompetence. It really isn't. I mean, look, I don't want to accuse anyone of anything, but Gareth, you've been watching the sport a lot longer than I have, and even in my short time watching that sport, 114, 111 by Ian John Lewis simply isn't good enough, and he needs to be brought in front of the British Boxing Board of... Let me say what needs to happen. They need to put the fight on, and Ian John Lewis needs to score it in front of everyone and explain why he's given those rounds to Josh Taylor. And he won't be able to.
Well, I think they should do that with the board, and hopefully that will happen. Lerone,
I know you're thinking we're mad here.
No. I mean, he's a very chilled out, laid back character, and he could just explode at any moment. That's what I'm more worried about. In a good way. When you hear a promoter like Ben Shalom, who's a young promoter, he's been given a lot of responsibility, you know, saying that he I think he was hinting there that there's something gone wrong, and it's not incompetence.
Yeah.
What do you feel when you hear that about the sport that you're involved in that affects, you know, it's an inherently dangerous sport that, you know, I don't know if you've got a family yet, but you have.
Yeah, I do, a little boy.
There you go.
Yeah.
You know, you're fighting for your family.
Yeah.
You know, when you hear these kind of things, does it, you're very quiet there.
Do you know, I'm quiet because I'm still in shock.
Right.
I'm in shock. I don't know what to say. Jack Catterall won that fight, and he didn't get the decision.
So should he be given the right now to go and do a very strenuous appeal and get those 3 judges, even though they will be sanctioned by the world governing bodies, and obviously because it was a undisputed world title fight, should he have the right to have those judges in front of the board as a panel, like a court of arbitration in sport, and have the potential to have that decision overturned if it's seen a different way?
I think so. But like I said before, this is not the first robbery that we've seen in boxing, and nothing's been done about them. Tomorrow will be, well, give it a week. People won't be talking about it.
We've seen it before.
You know,
people will move on.
It's sad. And the reason why I'm quiet, I'm just shaking my head. I'm thinking, oh, what if this was me?
You know what upsets me? Look, I promise, Lerone, when we come back, we're going to talk about you. I promise, my man. That's why you're here. You're not here to talk about this. You're here to talk about your career. But what upsets me is that even if the best they can do, and they won't do this, is a no contest. That's the best they can do. And if they do a no contest, still doesn't give Jack the belts. Still doesn't give him that opportunity to say I was world champion, because they could fight again and Josh could school him. It could happen. He won tonight, though, and that's the problem. He's been robbed of a very, very important victory.